Welcome to episode 48 of the Rock and Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Rachel Joy Olson. I provide health and wellness coaching, live and online programs to help women love and take care of themselves, discover their deepest desires, and live a healthy and inspired life. In today's episode, you will learn various paths and styles of yoga, as well as 21 benefits of having a regular yoga practice. There are, of course, many more benefits than this, and many of these benefits have actually been scientifically tested. But I will share with you my top 21 benefits to inspire you to take action and hopefully add yoga as part of your health and wellness routine. First off, let me ask you a few questions to get you in the right mindset. Number one, have you ever practiced yoga before? If no, why not? Maybe you don't think it's for you. Maybe you've never been exposed to it. Perhaps you've just been too scared to try it. If you have tried yoga before, what kind of yoga have you done? Ashtanga, yin, restorative flow, Vini yoga, shred, or hit flow yoga. There are endless styles of yoga, all of which have different goals and benefits. And finally, what does yoga mean to you? It's going to have a different meaning and benefit for everyone. I encourage you to keep these questions and your answers in the back of your mind as we go through today's topic. Let me start by defining yoga. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj, which means to yoke or to unite. The practice of yoga aims to create union or connection between the body, mind, and spirit, as well as between the individual self and universal consciousness. Yoga originated in ancient India and was first systemized by the sage Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras around 400 CE. However, it seems that the practice was handed down from teacher to student long before this text arose. Traditionally, this was a one-to-one transmission, but yoga has since become popular in the West since the 20th century, and group classes have now become the norm. Yoga has been practiced for thousands of years, and while many different interpretations and styles have been developed, most tend to agree that the ultimate goal of yoga is to achieve liberation from suffering. Although each school or tradition of yoga has its own emphasis and practices, most focus on bringing together the mind, body, and breath as a means of altering energy or shifting consciousness. According to Yogapedia, modern yoga is most commonly associated with the physical practice of the asana, which is a series of postures often weaved together in styles such as Vinyasa flow or Ashtanga. Asana practice is generally intended to build strength and stamina, to improve flexibility, coordination, and balance, and to relax the body. However, this provides only one small aspect of the tradition of yoga as a whole. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, he provides the traditional foundation of yoga and outlines an eightfold path of the practice, known as 8 limbs of yoga. This path offers a guide or pathway to individuals who are dedicated to creating a union between body, mind, and spirit. Each of the 8 limbs offers a means of living with more integrity, self-discipline, respect for nature, and connection with the spiritual aspects of life. These 8 practices are intended to be carried out in a holistic and integrative manner as opposed to a step-by-step process. The first limb of yoga is yamas. The yamas are defined as the 5 universal, ethical, or moral observances to live by. The 5 yamas are asteya, which is the practice of nonviolence to the self and others, and compassion for all living things. I love this one. I love teaching this one in my yoga practices. Satya, which is one's commitment to truthfulness by always speaking and living your truth by not lying to yourself or others. Asteya, which means non-stealing from yourself or others. This includes non-physical stealing, such as someone's time or trust, as well as physical objects. Brahmacharya, which is the practice of continence or having control over the senses and one's desires. Aparigraha, which is the practice of non covetousness or neutralizing the desire to acquire or hoard wealth. So, the first of the 8 limbs is the yamas, and there are 5 of them. Remember, the yamas are the ethical or moral observances to live by, kind of an outline of how to be a better human being. The second limb of yoga is the niyamas, which are considered to be the spiritual and self disciplined observances. The 5 niyamas are saucha, which means purity and cleanliness of the inner and outer body, santosha, which means being content with what you have, tapas, which is disciplining the use of your energy and keeping the body clean and fit to connect with the divine, svadhyaya, which is self-study and study of scriptures to find awareness, and Isvara Pranidhana, which is to celebrate and surrender to the divine. Now, I'm going to be honest, if anybody's out there who is a Sanskrit guru, you might be rolling your eyes listening to me say these words. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not necessarily a Sanskrit guru, but hopefully you can get a good understanding of what the yamas and the niyamas are as a way of really living your life. The third limb of yoga is the asana, which is the physical postures. They were originally intended to keep the body strong and limber to be able to sit in seated meditation for long periods of time. But more recently, the asanas have been adapted to encompass all physical yoga practices. The fourth limb of the 8 limbs of yoga is pranayama, or breathing exercises to control the flow of prana, which is the vital life force flowing through us. The fifth limb is pratyahara, which implies the withdrawal of the senses from attachment to external objects to return to the path of self-realization and achievement of internal peace. The sixth limb of yoga is dharana, which is single-pointed or immovable concentration of the mind, the ability to focus one's attention in one direction. So basically, this means staying focused on one thing without allowing your attention to focus on the distractions that might potentially be in your room. The seventh limb of yoga is dhyana, or the practice of meditation, specifically on the divine. And finally, the 8th limb of yoga is samadhi, which means to bring together and to have liberation or blissful union with the divine and going beyond consciousness. I find the 8 limbs of yoga are great guidelines of how to live your life, especially the yamas and the niyamas, which essentially guide us to being a better human being. Now that you know where the practice of yoga came from and the reason for the practice, let's discuss the various paths of yoga. There are 4 traditional paths of yoga, and they are Bhakti Yoga, which is a spiritual practice within Hinduism, which focuses on loving devotion towards any personal deity or the participation, devotion, and love for any endeavor. Karma Yoga is one of the 3 spiritual paths in Hinduism and is based on the yoga of action and selfless service. You may have in your local yoga studio have heard of, they often will do a karma yoga class. And basically this means that the instructor is there on his or her own time, and all of the money paid is then given to somebody in need in the community. Okay, so it's a nice way to practice karma yoga. Jnana yoga is also one of the 3 spiritual paths in Hinduism, which emphasizes the path of knowledge or self-study, also known as the path of self-realization. Raja yoga is the path of self-discipline and practice. In Sanskrit text, it is considered the king of yoga and considered both the goal of yoga and a method of attaining it. Now that you know the various paths of yoga, many of which are more focused on the spiritual practice, let's discuss some of the various styles of yoga and the purpose or goal of each style. There are many different styles of yoga, each of which have a different purpose or goal. Some are very physically active and focus on building strength and stamina, while others are more relaxed and focus on lengthening the body, relaxing the mind, and connecting you to your soul. Some of the main styles of yoga include yin yoga, which is one of my absolute favorite styles of yoga to personally practice and to teach. It is a calming and relaxing style of yoga that focuses on stretching your connective tissues, particularly the fascia as well as the muscles. In yin yoga, poses are held for about 3 to 5 minutes each and work with the energy meridians in your body, as well as cultivating active stretch in your connective tissues to increase strength and flexibility, improve joint mobility, improve posture, and release trauma in the body. And at the same time, keeping the physical body still and calming the mind and connecting to the soul. Now, if you want to try this style of yoga, I teach virtual live classes. Just visit my website at www.rjowellness.com and click the yoga link to see all dates and times. I will post this link also in the show notes page for this episode. And you can also just visit my website at rjowellness.com and click the podcast link. Restorative yoga is another one of my favorite styles of yoga to personally practice and teach. Restorative yoga is a meditative practice that uses props like blocks, straps, sandbags, bolsters, and blankets to encourage a passive release of mind and body tension. This style works to release deep tension passively without active stretch. Vinyasa yoga is often considered the most athletic yoga style and was adapted from the active practice of Ashtanga yoga in the 1980s. It is a powerful practice that focuses on strengthening and lengthening the body through challenging postures that often flow from one to the next. Kundalini yoga. Now, this style of practice is equal parts spiritual and physical. This style is all about releasing the Kundalini energy in your body, which is said to be trapped or coiled in the lower spine. This style of yoga uses a variety of kriyas, which is a series of postures, breath, and sound that work toward a specific outcome. Practicing a kriya initiates a sequence of physical and mental changes that affect the body, mind, and spirit simultaneously. Iyengar yoga was founded by BKS Iyengar and focuses on alignment as well as detailed and precise movements. In an Iyengar class, students perform a variety of postures while controlling the breath. Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a meditative style of yoga, also called yogic sleep, in which the body is completely relaxed. And when you are practicing Yoga Nidra, you become systematically and increasingly aware of your inner world by following a set of verbal instructions given to you by the instructor. Now, this is no way an exhaustive list of the various styles of yoga, but enough to give you a good idea and understanding that the practice of yoga can mean many different things to different people. Now that you know the various styles of yoga, let's discuss the many benefits of a regular yoga practice, regardless of which path or style you choose. So I'm going to go through about 21 benefits of yoga. And of course, again, this is not an exhaustive list. There are numerous and endless benefits of a regular practice of yoga. And number one is yoga improves flexibility. Improved flexibility is one of the first and most obvious benefits of yoga that most people think about. If you are new to yoga, you probably won't be able to touch your toes, never mind do a back bend or a fancy arm balance. But if you stick with it, you'll notice the most basic and even more advanced postures will become possible soon enough. You'll also likely notice a reduction in the pain you may have in your body when you start to loosen up your muscles like your hamstrings and hips, which can cause a lot of lower back pain. Number two, it builds muscle strength. Strong muscles not only allow your body to look good and allow you to do the activities you want to do, but they also protect us from conditions like arthritis and back pain and help prevent falls in elderly people. And when you build strength through yoga, you balance it with flexibility. If you just went to the gym and lifted weights, you might build strength, but it would likely reduce your flexibility or range of motion around the joints. Number three, yoga improves posture. Yoga has been shown to realign the body, including the spine, as you achieve a good balance between strength and flexibility around the joints. This helps improve your posture and reduce back, neck, and other muscle and joint problems. Number four, yoga prevents cartilage and joint breakdown. When you take your joints through their full range of motion, as you do in a yoga practice, You help prevent degenerative arthritis or mitigate disability by moving areas of cartilage that normally aren't used very much. Joint cartilage is like a sponge. It receives fresh nutrients only when its fluid is squeezed out and a new supply can be soaked up. Number 5, yoga improves bone health. Many postures in yoga require that you lift your own weight. And some, like downward and upward facing dog, help strengthen the arm bones, which are particularly vulnerable to osteoporotic fractures. It's well documented that weight bearing exercise strengthens bones and helps ward off osteoporosis. Some studies have shown that practicing yoga helps lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol and may help keep calcium in the bones. Number 6, yoga increases blood flow. Yoga gets your blood flowing, increasing circulation in your hands and feet, and really your entire body. It boosts levels of hemoglobin and red blood cells, which carry oxygen to the cells and tissues. Twisting poses are shown to wring out venous blood from internal organs and allow oxygenated blood to flow in once the twist is released. Inverted poses, like your upside down poses, such as headstand, handstand, and shoulder stand, encourage venous blood from the legs and pelvis to flow back to the heart, where it can be pumped to the lungs to be freshly oxygenated. Number 7, yoga drains the lymph system and boosts immunity. When you contract and stretch muscles, move organs around, and come in and out of yoga postures, you increase the drainage of lymph, which is a viscous fluid rich in immune cells. This helps the lymphatic system fight infection, destroy cancerous cells, and dispose of the toxic waste products of cellular functioning. Number 8, yoga reduces blood pressure. Yoga has been shown in numerous studies to help reduce blood pressure. Therefore, if you've got high blood pressure, you will definitely benefit from yoga. Number 9, yoga lowers cortisol levels. The adrenal glands secrete cortisol in response to an acute crisis, which temporarily boosts immune function. However, if your cortisol levels stay high even after the crisis, it can compromise the immune system. Temporary boosts of cortisol help with long-term memory, but chronically high levels undermine memory and may lead to permanent changes in the brain. Additionally, excessive cortisol has been linked with major depression, osteoporosis, high blood pressure, and insulin resistance, which results in excess fat in the abdomen, which contributes to weight gain and increases your risk of diabetes and heart attacks. Number 10, yoga enhances your mood. Studies have found that a consistent yoga practice can improve depression, reduce anxiety, and make you happier. And you can feel this benefit after just one session. Number 11, yoga helps build a healthy lifestyle. It's a well-known fact that when you move more and eat less, you will be better able to manage your weight and have better health. A regular practice of yoga gets you moving and burns calories. And the spiritual and emotional dimensions of your practice may encourage you to address any eating and weight problems on a deeper level. Yoga may also inspire you to become a more conscious eater and make better food choices. Number 12, yoga helps enhance focus. An important component of yoga is focusing on the present. Studies have found that regular yoga practices improve coordination, reaction time, memory, and even IQ scores. People who practice transcendental meditation demonstrate the ability to solve problems and acquire and recall information better, likely because they're less distracted by their thoughts, which can play over and over like an endless tape loop if you're not used to controlling your mind. Number 13, yoga relaxes your mind and body. Yoga encourages you to relax, slow your breath, and focus on the present, shifting the balance from the parasympathetic nervous system or your flight or fight response to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is calming and restorative. Yoga helps lower your breathing and heart rate and blood pressure, and it also helps to increase blood flow to the intestines and reproductive organs. And this is called the relaxation response. Number 14, yoga improves your balance. Regularly practicing yoga increases proprioception, which is the ability to feel what your body is doing and where it is in space, and improves balance. Better balance could mean fewer falls. For the elderly, this may mean more independence and delayed admission to a nursing home, or maybe never having to go to one at all. For you, postures like tree pose can make you feel stronger and less wobbly on and off the mat. Number 15, yoga improves sleep. Yoga helps provide downtime for the nervous system, allowing you to feel more relaxed and calm. This will allow you to settle in at night and have a better sleep, which means you'll be less tired and stressed, less likely to have accidents, and improved ability to remain focused on your daily tasks and responsibilities. Number 16, yoga increases self esteem. With a regular yoga practice, you will begin to feel better about yourself and attain feelings of worthiness, or as yogic philosophy teaches, that you are a manifestation of the divine. If you practice regularly with an intention of self examination and betterment, not just as a substitute for an aerobic class, you can access a different side of yourself. You'll experience feelings of gratitude, empathy, and forgiveness, as well as a sense that you're part of something bigger. While better health is not the goal of spirituality, it's often a byproduct, as shown by many different scientific studies. Number 17, yoga enhances inner strength and builds awareness. Yoga can help you make changes in your life, positive changes, transformational changes. In fact, that might be its best and greatest strength. You may find that with your regular yoga practice, without making a particular effort to change things, you start to eat better, exercise more. Maybe you finally quit smoking after years of failed attempts. With this greater sense of awareness, it's easier to break free of destructive emotions like anger. Yoga also increases your ability to step back from the drama of your own life and be better able to choose a more thoughtful reaction, thereby reducing suffering for yourself and others. When I'm doing my health and wellness life coaching with my one-on-one clients, I get them in a regular practice of yoga and meditation because of this point right here. It actually makes it easier for them to make the other changes, such as eating better, getting more active, calming the mind, calming the body, being happier. It just makes it easier for them to do that. Number 18, yoga benefits your relationships. A regular yoga practice helps develop friendliness, compassion, and greater equanimity. Along with yogic philosophy's emphasis on avoiding harm to others, telling the truth, and taking only what you need, this may improve many of your relationships, including the one you have with yourself. Number 19, yoga helps your body heal. If you contemplate an image in your mind's eye, as we do when we practice yoga nidra and some other mindful practices, you can affect change in your body. Several studies have found that guided imagery can help reduce and even get rid of various symptoms of chronic conditions. Number 20, yoga helps you serve others. Karma yoga, as we know, is service to others, is integral to yogic philosophy. And while you may not be inclined to serve others, your health might improve if you do. Serving others can give meaning to your life, and your problems may not seem so daunting when you see what other people are dealing with and help them improve their life. I often say that to my clients: when you're struggling, get the focus off you. Get out and help somebody else. Anytime we can help somebody improve their life, it always makes us feel better. And when we do it selflessly, as people who practice karma yoga do, it's even better. And finally, number 21, yoga encourages self care. In yoga, it's what you do for yourself that matters, as opposed to conventional medicine, where most patients are passive recipients of care. Yoga actually gives you the tools to help you make positive changes in your life. Regular practice of yoga allows you to get involved in your own care. You discover that your involvement gives you the power to affect change. And seeing that you can affect change may just give you some hope. And hope in itself can be healing. So there you have it, my friends. A complete overview of the various paths of yoga, the 8 limbs, some different styles of yoga you may want to add to your daily routine, and a variety of benefits a regular practice of yoga provides that you will notice even in just one or a handful of sessions. I hope that this information inspires you to begin a practice of yoga if you haven't already, and keep up with it if you have. To join one of my live yoga classes or an online class, please visit rjowellness.com. On there, you will also find other classes that will help you along this important journey of better health and wellness. Until next time, my friends, keep rocking. your wellness.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Rockin' Wellness Podcast. Make sure to visit my website at www.rjowellness.com, where you can subscribe to the show and check out all the show notes. While you're at it, if you found value in this podcast, if you'd simply tell a friend about it, that would help out too. You may choose to join the R.J.O Wellness community to take advantage of the freebies, courses, and coaching that will take your voyage to the next level, or support this podcast with your monthly membership. Until next time, my friends, keep rocking your wellness.